then you would have to click on biodiversity and then click on this create a new group here folder or button. And then it's really simple from there. This is the information you have to fill out. And it's at this point that you can decide whether or not you want it to be a private group or a public group. Oh, and if you want to create a bunch of different groups, then it might be a good idea, if it's easier for you to know where they all are, to create a subfolder. So you just click this little button next to the create a new group here, and that way you can, within that folder, create more groups. And if you ever want to quickly access the groups that you've created, just like everything else, there's a quick link right here underneath your profile picture. If you have more general questions or discussions that you want to start, but they don't necessarily relate to any groups, then you can go over to the discussions tab, and these are the actions available to you. You can create a discussion, create question, create poll. And yeah, it's similar to the library where you can watch questions that are taking place, or you can get updates by watching it. So if there's a question that you want to know the answer to, then you click watch, and you'll get an email notification anytime there's a new response. And you can also subscribe so that there's a more instant notification as well. And yeah, if you want to take part in a discussion, you just click reply, and that way you're engaged. It's really quick and easy. And you can also subscribe to a discussion like you would with a question to get instant email notifications. Yeah, and then there's the news tab. I've skipped the blogs tab because I'm not entirely sure what that is. I don't think that that's something that's been used at all, and if it's something we intend to use. So I'm just going to talk about the news feed, which is basically like similar to Facebook. It's a feed that tells you the activity that's going on just among the various connections that you have, either with members or with the library folders or with groups. And you can kind of tailor it so that you get instant emails. You can make it your landing page so that when you sign on, this is the first thing you see instead of the home page. And the best way to familiarize yourself with the community forum is to use it regularly. So right now there isn't very much there aren't very many people engaging in using AssociCom, or I think like the most recent stuff has been happening in the last few months, but before that it's been 2011, 2010. So the best way to really get it started is to have more people engaging and communicating and collaborating every day or just more regularly. And if you have any troubles, you can go over to the homepage, and if you scroll down, you'll find this little need help section where there's an email contact, and there's this getting started link where you have instructions and tutorial videos. Yeah, that's it. Are there any questions, or if there's anything? Yeah.
Where do you find it?
That's what I was actually going to show you when I did the online demo. So you can go on the OEN.ca website, and then one of the tabs along the top says Community Forum. So you click on that, and that takes you right there.
How, do you have this probably a question you can't answer, but how secure is this? I mean, I'm thinking from the standpoint of politicians going into a private, so-called private site, and there's some heated discussions, political discussions that you really don't want to get out, but somebody can hack in there and find out all of the secrets.
Right. Well, I'm not actually, like I said, I'm the AssociCom specialist. I don't know anything about how the programming is written, the code and stuff, but I do know that to be able to use AssociCom, you have to have login information. And you can only have login information by being a part of the OEN. So that's how it's exclusive. So I think it's fairly secure, but if someone really wanted to access that information, I'm not sure how easy it is for someone to hack in. Yeah. I don't know.
Anytime you're ever connected to the internet, information is always at risk, right? And that big companies especially, you've probably heard about the Heartbleed blog, big companies especially are the target for hackers. This is not a huge company, it's just a Canadian company. so probably a bit more secure, but there's always risk. But then of course it depends on what kind of information that you're sharing, and there's moderators that are watching this stuff all the time. So if anyone does anything that they shouldn't do, we'll know about it and find it.
So right now it is available. You have to get an invitation from someone to participate because it hasn't been used that much. So this is something OEN has had for a while. We've opened it up a little more broadly right now, but at a certain benchmark, it's going to be more scrutinized. So in theory, if it had taken off and worked the way Philip started with AssociCom, and it's a great tool. The library function is simply amazing at the end of the day. It's a really good way to share instead of everybody being on whatever Dropbox or iCloud or whatever. It's all in one common area. And so eventually it would be with membership, each group gets 5 members or AssociCom memberships. And then each additional one would have been $1 or $2 because there is a fee. We pay for this on an annual basis. So, but I know that it's a great tool. We just don't use it. We haven't used it. It's like Blackboard. We haven't really used it. We're starting to, because of Liane's understanding in that, use it a little bit more. But it's
Yeah, like there are still some things, some kinks that need to be worked out. I think there are some gray areas, but they're fairly responsive. So if you ever have any questions or concerns that can't be answered right away, then we can at least get some reasonably quick response from AssociCom.
and it's a small Canadian company.
Bonus.
So how would they cross-connect? Let's say I just want to type in gravel pits, and I'm looking for stuff that our people are involved in, maybe some outside library that might be linked to, things like that I can basically pull up at once. Is there any way to do that, or is there a list of sort of preferred search words?
Well, I know that library items can be tagged, so if you were to add a library item, you would put in special tag words. If someone were to search, they would...
So it's an organic thing, it's basically been developed as we use it then?
Yeah, and it searches the entire AssociCom. Like when you search for something within AssociCom, you get library folders, library items, groups, members, that kind of thing. So you're presented with a bunch of different stuff, and you can narrow your search down. But it doesn't pull things from outside of the website.
Can it if we wanted to?
I'm not sure.
You can create links.
Yeah.
I know that
Yeah,
John
You
would
can
start
link
to
things
drop.
like in a library item, but
But
you
it won't-
can't search Google.
Yeah,
like it's
it'll
not
search within the domain of AssociCom and won't
Mhm.
go and search outside of AssociCom.
Because that's why I was worried, well, remember I mentioned the environment commissioner? If he's gonna make his whole library, which is like incredible, available to us, would there be a way that AssociCom would actually look there as well? Because then gravel pits, you'd pull up absolutely every complaint that anybody had made and a lot of active investigations, which could be very valuable for somebody that actually was winding up with maybe with the gravel pit impact there.
So we should ask.
Yeah, we should ask Bob about that. Because I know that individuals can, like OEN forum members, could take things from that library if they're linkable and add them to AssociCom.
Okay, cool.
But to have it all added in one go, I think it would definitely take some backdoor kind of
You could at least
work.
make a URL.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could put the URL in for sure.
Then if they added something new, you'd have to click on the URL and go search for it on the commissioner's site. It wouldn't go straight to the AssociCom.
So I think one of the beauties about AssociCom is if we load it, if the government takes it down or if someone gets rid of it one day, we still have a virtual copy of it in AssociCom. So as long as it's not a link to a URL, but if it's the actual document, so, and the one that jumps to mind is the National Roundtable on Environment and Economy. We spent 3 days at the national level taking everything off before they were taking NRT offline completely. And it's still there as an archive, but eventually it will be completely gone. So that's one of the real benefits to me of AssociCom too, is that it's now in our archive, it's not someone else's archive.
Right,
So
yeah.
that brings up the question of how much room they take all that. I mean,
So there's, I think
It's not unlimited, I expect.
there's a limitation to the size of the file.
Yeah, what's the storage
I think the
capacity?
storage is like I think that's what they sell themselves on, is unlimited storage.
Yeah, that's right. I remember them talking
So
about that in
far,
the tutorial.
Yeah,
Ours
so
will
we
be
fill it up.
virtually unlimited as far as our.
I think it's more users than, I think they moderate it by users as opposed to data storage. Yeah. That's great. Keep using.
What are the functions that you can do on this site that you cannot do, say, on Facebook?
Well, it's more of a, I think the library function is a big one. So
Yeah,
that
that
you can,
that I see right away, but what are the other things? besides
well, it's
library?
similar to Facebook because it is a social networking platform. So you network with other people. I think it just has more functions available than Facebook does. And it's just kind of a more professional social networking platform.
And it's private to the OEN, so
Yeah.
it's not going
So
to be
it's not
everybody's,
everybody
you know,
can see
you can't share it with
Yeah, the
your
audience is
sister-in-law.
limited and
Yeah.
functions are a little more defined.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's exclusive to OEN members. So if like people outside of OEN who don't have their email signed up with this
They cannot
website, they
come
can't
up.
access it.
You have to log in and you have to go to the site and you put your username and password in to log in, which is like Facebook a lot, but it's more.
Yeah, that's what I saw, but I just wanted to know how to put.
The important thing is Facebook's absolutely anti-privacy in that they are, you are the product. They are selling you as much information as they can get on you. They assemble and then they market that to other people. That won't be happening here.
No
That's
address.
probably the most important part about it.
Okay, is that it? No more questions?
Thank you, Greg.
Cool.
Okay.